Olivia. Well, welcome to the Scandal Podcast. In case some of you that don't know about our show, so welcome to the Scandal Podcast. I am Jaha Knight, one of four of the hosts that are usually here, and today I have to say is our last episode of the Scandal Podcast. It has been very much so a hard decision to make for this season in our lives, but it's mainly me. Y'all don't have to blame the other folk. It's mainly me. I have to kind of do some things in my business, and like today I'm here at a conference and I had to, thank God, one of my homegirls had a room here, so I ended up coming up and doing the show for you all, but I can't do that because my business is starting to really ramp up, so I have to focus on the money, y'all. I have to focus on the money. So Shane is saying that Olivia is a total complete basket case. We are here talking about Baby It's Cold Outside, last night's winter finale episode. And we are going to get started here because we only have an hour. And then we're going into the After Dark for my After Dark peeps. And I wanted to make sure that you know that if you did join the After Dark either last week or the week before, you're not in the After Dark, so you can go ahead and cancel your pledge there, but you're not in the After Dark. You have not been charged. Thank you, Jesus. So we're actually going to cancel the After Dark after this month because we don't have any more episodes. So that's how that's going to work. But let's talk about last night's episode that we all watched and had our feels and moments and all that kind of good stuff. What we felt about last night. Shane thinks, again, Olivia is a complete and total basket case, which I think Shane is a mess himself. So whatever. Because you are in the Scandalistas and Scandalati. One day you all hot for Olivia. The next day you freezing ice cold. Make up your mind, sir. Please make up your mind. Do You Today says, in my opinion, Olivia has daddy issues, which is impacting her ability to have a healthy relationship with the man. She needs some time to choose herself and know that yielding to a partner does not come at the expense of your own power or freedom. She can only be at this inner place by focusing on fixing herself for a little while. Olivia needs therapy. Well, in my opinion, Do You Today, Olivia is at this place, but it's not about her thinking that it's one over the other. The way this was positioned for her in this sense with her and Fitz, with what she did and how she felt she had to make up for the issue or the problem she created, or the disappointment that he now felt within himself about the relationship or with her. She allowed some of her power to be taken, but that's not totally her fault or her issue. That's something that her and Fitz have to deal with together. Moretta says that Liv has more than just daddy issues. Hello, Katrina Pavela. How are you, lady?
I am all right.
I like you. Oh, look at her looking all looking like a little professor over there with the little glasses and the little.
I was professor today, so
were you?
Bothered to do very much because it's been a long day. Fridays are always long for me. They begin at like 5 a.m. So
who you telling? We are here with that because I've been up since Jesus said, "Let there be light." I've been up. That's how it feels. I was like, "Yes, Lord, I see the light." I'm getting up right now. So yeah. So I've been reading the comments here about what everyone thinks about Olivia. Moretta J says Liv has more than daddy issues. She also says, how can she tell Fitz that at least her daddy loved her? I don't know what that means. And then
that's in the argument when Fitz said, she kept interrupting him a lot, actually. So she was projecting a whole bunch of her stuff and her issue. Anyway, she said, he said, at least, I knew where you came from. And she goes, where I came from a palace compared to where you came from, where your father, didn't love you. At least my daddy loved me, or something like that. I was like, you little children.
They were letting their little kids out to have that argument. The Do You Today
all of the knives
All of their
out.
stuff. Yep, they did. It was rough. I'm surprised they actually said, okay, we supposed to talk about that in the after dark. Sorry. Jumping ahead of myself. Okay, so let me start off with the questions. So from the beginning of the episode, because we always start at the top and work our way down. I was just trying to get those questions out before we started because, girl, they were on here chatting with each other without me even being on here. I'm like, what, did y'all show up at 5:50? Were you early? Did you say let the church say amen? Jaha ain't gotta be here. We just gonna do this by ourselves. So the quote was, Olivia's busy. Can we make her unbusy? And then Fist's response was no. So at the holiday party, when they talked about the charm offensive marketing campaign working, what was the first sign for you all that this episode with the relationship between Olix was kind of going to go sideways?
Well, I think people suspected it would probably go sideways from the end of the last episode because Olivia had been trying to avoid moving in there because she knew she would feel caged. But my problem with her is, why don't you just say this? Like, why didn't you say this before? Because it's never been what you wanted. You wanted him, but not what I was calling Paris until these attacks, and now I feel very uncomfortable calling it that because of episode 503, Paris is Burning. But for me, I think the first sign was her staring at her dresses, really, and Fitz coming in and saying, I like that one. And she just, because she looks so numb and so detached and so dead, and perhaps she probably knew she was pregnant at that time too. That was probably weighing on her, and all of those things closing in on her and all of the things that she wanted. So from that set the tone. It's like, this isn't going to go well.
That's exactly how I felt. I was looking at it and I was like, well, the bloody dresses, because normally she wears black, white, gray. She doesn't really wear color. So that kind of took me aback.
Like that. But I get the significance.
Yeah, I was like, and they did look bloody. They were so in stark contrast to what she normally wears. So I was like, ooh, that's a big ass change. Like, oh, this is not good. I was like,
a lot of red.
she actually does. It looks good with her coloring though. So the foreshadowing of Abby and Liz's conversation, wasn't that telling for y'all?
It was too obvious. It wasn't like I'm not sure how this is going to go or how Shonda's going to play this. Because to be honest, the end of the last episode, I didn't know how Shonda was going to play it. But once I saw Olivia in the closet, I said, okay, I know how she's going to play this. It's not going to be a 180 where somehow Liv ends up liking this or finding a way to make it work for her. No, she's flat out just unhappy with this because she's never wanted it. But as I said before, the onus is on her to say that. And before this whole thing happened with her father, right? This has been building. This is something she has not wanted for a while. So nobody sit there and say, well, Fitz moved her into the White House. Yes, he did. And I talked about that on my Tumblr, sort of like understanding his logic behind that, even though his behavior is problematic. This has been building for episodes on episodes now, since at least 503. Olivia has wanted to avoid moving into that place and becoming like replacement wife or wifey. That's not,
Stepford wife.
In the house.
Yeah. I call it Stepford wifing because she really did. They did say that in the episode, right? She was.
Yeah, Stepford wife. Oh yeah, at the party, I think someone said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like Olivia, but yeah.
So Mellie, I know you all love you some Mellie. So Mellie taking on the Senate for Planned Parenthood. Why do you think she took such a rash stand?
Well, there was she kind of actually said it in in the ladies' room with Liv, right? And I love the whole kind of symbolism of that, the ladies' room. And she says, I don't know why I did it. I'm a Republican. Like, this isn't really even my issue. But she said, I didn't like, I forget his name, that senator asshole guy. I didn't like him telling me what to do. And the thing is, Mellie at that point in her political career had nothing to lose. She was already like a pariah. They used her from the minute she entered the Senate, right? Why am I forgetting all of these people's names? The senator lady, the Democrat lady, used her to be able to push impeachment, for Fitz, so that she could raise her, political capital at Mellie's expense. And then Mellie got kicked off the judiciary panel. And now, people look at her as this kind of sad case. She was left by her husband, that whole thing. And she wasn't really anywhere as a freshman senator. So on one hand, when you tell Mellie she can't do something, you know how she reacts. And two, she had nothing to lose. And three, I think this was a risk worth, her taking, that once you start, that you just, you follow through with it. And she ended up having some encouragement. So I think in the ladies' room, they made it obvious that this isn't some secret like ambition about women's rights that Mellie harbored, that this is something that she kind of, found herself in and decided to just stick with it, because it went from her thinking, this discretionary funding isn't quite right. This is like, kind of fucked up, to like making it her issue. And I think that sometimes that happens. People find themselves the unlikely champions of something, right, that they never thought that they would do. And then once you prove that to yourself, then what else can you do?
I think it was also a shifting of power. Since power is such a big thing in Scandal, it was a shifting of power, because as Olivia seemed to become less empowered, Mellie became more empowered. And I think too, being that she had felt so long that she wasn't in any type of position of power, this was her taking that power back, and it was a stand for it. Because that's what I saw it as. I was like, wow, she's finally getting to stand up for what she really truly wants, even though it wasn't her issue, because she's a Republican. She's actually not letting someone tell her this is the only option and you have no others. So sit down and shut up, little girl. Because that's really kind of,
she took her window. Well, that's what I was trying to say, that she found a window and she took it to get some power back. It goes back to what Liz was saying a few episodes ago about, how things work in this town. Everything runs on power, and I've got to get mine from somewhere. She had to get hers from somewhere, and she found a window. That wasn't necessarily her issue, but she made it her issue. And and it didn't have anything to do, with Fitz. Like, this was an issue specifically related to sort of women's rights. In some ways, it kind of ended up being connected to Liv because of the whole, like, abortion issue and the kind of contrast that was going on there. But previously, when she came into the Senate, they still made her political career about Fitz, right? With the whole impeachment thing. They needed her to do it. So this was her first thing that she did that didn't have anything to do with him, outside of the White House and in her own, sort of political career. And let me point out to all Mellie stands that, once again, Mellie got something because Olivia helped her make it happen. Mellie only ever gets anything because Olivia helps her make it happen, whether Mellie knows it or not. Mellie became a senator because Olivia helped make that happen from behind the scenes and through Fitz. And I was so glad that at least Mellie said thank you this time when she realized that Olivia was the cause of, Susan showing up.
And now, if you are just joining us for the first time or just joining us, I'm Jaha Knight. That's Katrina Pavela. You are watching the Scandal Fan Podcast. And thank you so much, Annie, for sharing the podcast. If you are all watching, there's a Tell a Little Bird, Tell Your Friends button on the left-hand side. You can share this episode with a friend so that we can get some great people in the room and have more dialogue in the comments that are there. If you are in the comments, you can actually talk back to each other in the comments. So make sure you take advantage of that opportunity. It's cold outside, and the reactions of everyone from that episode. Do You Today says the entire kidnapping interrupted Olivia choosing herself. That's why the couch was never clean. The old couch is symbolic of the old wounded Olivia. I am hoping that the new couch is about a new Olivia. By the way, I believe that she viewed the growing child inside of her as connected to the wounded old Olivia. In other words, the abortion was also her clearing away the old her. What are your thoughts about that?
I think you're definitely right about the kidnapping interrupting Olivia's choosing herself, because even after she came back, there was a coldness to her that she kind of had to heal from that experience. So healing from that experience is not the same thing as then sort of moving on from where she was before then. It's like another whole kind of step was added. And, before the season started, I call this the season of Olivia taking back her life. And so far, that is what is going on. I think she's been making some mistakes along the way, or going with things and seeing where they lead her. And when they're not working for her, saying, well, I have to change course. And we see that that's what's happening now. For me, I thought the abortion, I agree about the couch, by the way. And I noticed that it's a gray, so she's not trying to live up to some pristine ideal of white anymore. So I thought that was a good thing. She replaced the white couch with a gray one. But for the abortion, I saw it as almost kind of like this disruption of the future that she was headed towards with Fitz, a future that, not that she doesn't want, but she doesn't want it right now. And that baby symbolized pushing her further and further into that future that she absolutely did not want right now, right? Having a kid, they would have had to have gotten married, because that wouldn't look good in the White House. Having your girlfriend
Definitely
there,
not.
They were going to have to get married.
They were just cleaning that up,
Right. And it will push her further away from her dreams. Now, I don't know what other dreams she has, right? And that's the question that I've been asking since 312. What else do you want? Because there have been all of these interruptions and chasing her father around. Even the kidnapping interrupted her ability to kind of deal with her father in the way that she needed to, right? She quarantined him and kind of pushed him out of her mind. But that's not the same thing as dealing with the issue, right? You're just placing, as I said, you're quarantining the issue, but you're not dealing with it. And that's why Shonda has allowed this man to be free, because Olivia, and because it came up several times during the argument, she still has an issue that she has to deal with. And she has her own stuff. It's not just about her father. She has her own stuff. She's a terrible communicator, a terrible, terrible communicator in a relationship. And that is something that she has to work on. Yeah, so for me, the abortion was about halting any kind of future idea, because Olitz has always been about, they talk about babies and jam, right? And a baby was always meant to be the future, is what they were going to do. So they can't have that future because things just are not right in this present.
I can't agree that aborting an unborn child is a way of her clearing away the old her. This is a human life we're talking about, created out of love, is what Moretta J says. I hope Fitz finds somebody that is not a basket case of issues, who can appreciate the full scope of love and not some basket case who plays with his emotions, then blames him for acting desperate when it's clear he is going to lose the one he loves. Hashtag by Olivia is what Shane says. Liv is just not ready or fit to be a parent, is what Moretta J says. Fitz doesn't know how to be. They are harsh, ain't they?
They're being people have been so fucking harsh to Olivia. And the part of the reason I hate this is when they do this is because, stop acting like Fitz has his shit together. Fitz has issues with Mellie from his past. Fitz has trust issues. Fitz has issues around his inadequacy and feeling inadequate. So stop acting like Fitz is perfect. I fucking love Fitz, and I am ride or die for him, ride his dick, everything. I love him, but he's not perfect. And stop acting like he is. So you can denigrate Olivia.
That took me completely. Okay. Because I was like, wait, what? Right, his huh? Okay, well, Fitz doesn't know how to be in a relationship either, is what Isaac Y says. So she said that earlier. Moretta J says, I wonder who's leading the podcast. Oh, Lord, she's talking about me. Who's leading the podcast today? John has a conference. Brown Shea says Fitz has unresolved baggage from his relationship with Mellie that he needs to sort through as well. And then Moretta comes in and says they both need the both of them rushed into this relationship. They needed time to heal. Brown Shea says
they were pushed here, guys. Remember that. They were outed. This is not their choice in a lot of ways. And things have been pushing kind of all along. And it started with that outing.
And Olivia told him that, they needed time to be a couple before they could. And I think that's where that argument blew up from. But they still needed time to be a couple. But just like you were saying earlier, to your point, Olivia is not really good at communicating because you can't. And Shane has said this. So I give this to Shane too. He has said this before, that Olivia seriously needs to be able to talk with this man in a way that is going to allow her to express what's going on outside of just her. Like, she can't be the only one making decisions in a relationship, and then he has to deal with whatever decisions she's made on her own that still affect him, because that's not how a relationship works. So
no, I agree with that.
Yeah, that conversation should have been had, especially even with the baby thing. That's going to come up in season 5B, and that's going to be...
That does come up, but I have to say I'm not angry with her for not telling him, because it would have made it more complicated for her, and I don't think it needed to be more complicated for her. And at the end of the day, it is her body, and it's her right to do that. And but I do think that if they get to a place and, sort of when they come back together, because I do firmly believe that, that this is something she will share with him, or maybe she'll share with, him before that she did this, but their communication is an issue. The problem with Olivia is she is used to giving orders. She is used to dictating and saying, this is what needs to be done, because that's how she treats her clients. That's how she treats her employees. You can't be that way in a relationship. She is very comfortable giving Fitz directions about what, and her advice on things as his advisor, right? She's very good at doing that. She's not good at talking about stuff in the relationship when she's not pushed in an emotional corner. And I've told people this for 2 seasons now. Olivia she's like a boiling pot, you know what I mean? Or like a pressure cooker. She doesn't let things out until it's the steam is rising out, until the pot is about to blow. And that is unsustainable in a relationship. You will very, very quickly destroy it if you cannot regularly communicate how it is you feel. And I understand in some ways why she doesn't do it, because there is always so much to lose, to risk. I was watching, let me just say this real quick. I was watching Being Mary Jane today, and they were talking about Mary Jane's little cuddle buddy, she and a friend. And the friend was like, oh, but you tell him things. And she's like, well, of course you tell him things, because you don't want him. It's much easier to be open with someone when you don't really want them and there isn't that much to lose. And I said, exactly. That's why Olivia can call Jake. That's why she can talk to him about stuff, because there is nothing to lose with him. Who the fuck cares? She always has everything to lose with Fitz, and always so afraid of what might be lost that she can't think about what there is to gain by opening the fuck up. With her words. So that's something that she has to work on. I remember Adnan Salif in 315 told her, you're just like your mother. You want things when you want them and only on your terms. And even her mother read her ass at the end of last season and said, look at you. You strut around here, all the problems that you create so you can fix them. It makes you feel so important. And it was she said some other stuff, and it was one of the best reads of Olivia ever. That and I thought, you know what, Maya, you're right in some ways. So that's how I feel about Olivia. There isn't always the give in communication. She can dictate the kind of relationship stuff that she needs to do. She's not good at that.
But on the flip side, when it comes to Fitz, because this is how I felt, did you just take a breath? He's like, Fitz. But I thought you took a breath. I was like, oh Lord. On the flip side, when it comes to Fitz, I think that in any relationship, you need to give the person the space to be themselves. And when he told Abby that Olivia was busy with fucking holiday parties and a bunch of nonsense that's not really her thing, he really kind of took the the steam out of her being herself. Like, you can't block people off from the space that they occupy, that they're good at. And he did do that, because when he was like, when she said, well, why don't we get Olivia on this? Nope, she's busy. She's doing other things. Then you go and you have another scene and Olivia's picking out China for a damn dinner party. Girl, look, at the end of the day, she needed to be doing what she does best, which is what she ended up doing for Mellie. So fixing, that's her thing. And if she's not doing that, and you saw her at the beginning on all these covers of magazines and this and that, that's not her. That's just not in that way. Not in that way.
It's not her, but let me say two things. Of course not. And I disagree with you about the Abby thing, and I'll say why in a second, and how you could interpret that if he had said, yes, let's get her to do this. So, of course, it's not her. Like, she can do it. She's good at it, but it's not what she prefers. It's not what she enjoys. It's not what makes her feel alive, right? But being there in that house, that is the expectation. That is the kind of first girlfriend that America expects in the image. And we have real life, the last two first ladies to look back on in this. Remember the magazine, the 3 magazine pictures that were up. The first one was about healthy living, the first lady's healthy living. That was literally Michelle Obama's like platform about healthy living and food. 2, Olivia Pope, feminist or foe. There was I don't know if it was Time or The Nation, there was an article about Michelle Obama, and they said, Michelle Obama is feminism's worst nightmare. So that magazine cover was literally recalling that. 3, the whole puppy thing, and Olivia opens up. These are, in some ways, America is also to blame for relegating first ladies to this position. When Hillary Clinton was getting too involved with healthcare, wanting to pass healthcare back in the Clinton administration, Republicans were basically like, slow your roll and know your role as first lady, right? And she actively complained about like, I'm not interested in cookies and doing these kinds of things, but she had to like tone it down and step back into more like first lady roles, because they launched an offensive against her with the public, and the public expected her to know her role, which is this like, support like traditional one. So no, it's not Olivia, but being in that house, like what it requires, which is why she didn't want to be there. But by virtue of being there, that's what was happening. Lastly, the thing with Abby, you forget that Fitz and Olivia had like agreed on a schedule of things that she was doing that day. So she had an agenda, which is why if you had, then it could have been interpreted as, oh, you just like pulling her around to like do whatever work you need her to do. So either way, it's like, yeah, I think it's something that she would have wanted to do, but that's what I think was probably going through his mind. But I understand what you're saying. That's what she would have preferred doing. She's not fulfilled or happy with any of that stuff. And Stevie Wonder could have seen that coming.
Moretta J said, Moretta, I didn't know my earrings were making noise. I'm sorry, lady. I just saw that. Tula Rosebud is, never mind. She didn't say, she was talking to you, Katrina. So your earrings make too much noise. Okay, so Cassandra says, and with the added sadness that y'all are leaving us, I understand, but still upset. Congrats on your accomplishments, though. But I'm totally in my feelings. And I didn't know my earrings were causing the interference. I was trying to figure out what it was, but I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not used to wearing these bracelets on my ears. Well, they're always that big, but I didn't expect them to be clanging. I was trying to figure out what that was. I thought it was my connection. Thank you for letting me know that. That's great. The earrings are talking loud to me. I get it. Jesus. Thank you, Brown Shane. Appreciate it. Welcome, Eldia. Eldia is here.
Hey,
awesome.
Guys. I literally just got off work. So hey, guys.
I'm sorry, Moretta J, that you wanted my head to be immobile, but that's just not how people faces work. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Shane says, Katrina Pooh, she missed you. He missed you. Sorry. Brown Shay said, looking all scholarly and fly. She was talking to Katrina because she looking all Dr. Pavela all up in here. which is what Moretta J said. Shonda and the writers fucked me up with this whole episode. I didn't even watch it for the second time. Cassandra said, Do You Today says, however, for 4.5 season, the writers presented Anne Olivia as having the ability to find solutions. How the hell have they flipped her on us? They always do that. Moretta J said, you said you weren't going to be here. Okay, well, I'm here. Yeah. Jesus. I'm here, Moretta. I was here. Cassandra says, I don't understand why they had to go this route in order for Olitz to have this much needed discussion or argument. Like, why this path? There had to have been other scenarios or options. Well, this is a drama.
I think it's really, let me tell you something right now. And I love you guys to death. Don't tweet me. Don't send me messages. Don't send me anything on Tumblr saying,
yeah,
no. I'm being like deadly serious about this. Or try to involve me in conversation that says, why didn't they go XYZ route instead of the route they could? What other options were there for them to do? Or say things to me like, well, so-and-so on X show got this storyline around abortion. So why couldn't? Don't say it to me, because it is a fruitless path to go down. Yeah, I have to deal with the story that you have. You don't like the story that you have, then that's fine. For me, considering, what are these other options, leads you to unhappiness. And I am not going there. Go there if you want. Do not involve
Katrina
me.
says she's not taking the trip with y'all. So regifting that sweet old holiday tradition. No. Do you think when Liz saw that, what's her name? The vice president, Susan was wearing that bracelet, that she probably, I think inside her, she was like, no, this mother, are you kidding me? I was like, wow, that's kind of bold. What do you think?
But how messy of David, though, because he knows that Liz is her
that is messy.
Liz didn't care. Liz said, bitch, don't buy me nothing. So, hey.
Right. But was it like he was finally realizing what was in front of him, Katrina? It was like he was like, no. Yeah, he was. It was just a shady move. It was a dick move, David.
It was. I was like, this is messy.
What do you think about Quinn and her sadness? And because that was one thing that I was like, Quinn, she don't have nobody. Why didn't Olivia invite her over to eat some popcorn and drink some wine?
They have all left Quinn. Like, seriously.
Herself. Finally,
they have all left and abandoned Quinn. Like, that is messed up. I mean, like, they have all left her. Like, Huck ain't there, Abby ain't there. I like that. I like that they show that, though, because they are Quinn's family, right? She made the decision to leave Lindsay behind and in the past and become Quinn Perkins. So they are her family.
Well, and I think the other thing is that we have to remember that the holidays is a really lonely time for a lot of people. And I like that we saw people in various states of togetherness or, being alone. Some of them unhappy. Fitz with his drink in his office. And Olivia, I don't think she was happy necessarily, but I felt like she felt in that moment just at peace. Yeah, at peace with herself. And proud that she was making a start on what it is that she wanted, at least, for the present, and feeling good about making the decisions that she had recently
So Huck's
made.
Conversation with Papa Pope and his initial disgust about Huck forgetting the freedom fries and the Underground Railroad. Did y'all see any double entendres in this speech? Yeah, with the fact that he was like, the freedom fries, here you got Olivia wanting her freedom, and then the Underground Railroad is literally,
and him
and he's wanting his freedom, yeah. And then Olivia, him being ushered literally through kind of the Underground Railroad of getting out the prison system, and now being, hidden by Huck so that he's not murdered.
Wow. LD,
yeah, I mean, I feel like Papa Pope is always double talking, like out both sides of his mouth. It was a great scene, but it made me laugh. Like when he was sitting there and Huck was like, just kept eating, and then Huck was like, eat your food. It was like he was a defiant child, like knocking it over, like, I'm not gonna eat this. And Huck was like, okay, I don't care. I mean, it was a great scene. I think Guillermo and Joe kind of stole the show for me last night with that one scene that they had. It was the one I think I enjoyed the most. There's always an undertone of Papa Pope trying to not only double talk but also manipulate people, and I feel like that's what he was trying to do in that scene, was manipulate Huck into giving him what he.
So,
and the best part is that it didn't work because Rowan is Huck's ghost in a lot of ways, right? His trigger. This man has been able to flip Huck's switch in the past and get him to kill for him. You know, he got him to kill Pete Foster in episode 304. And Huck was able to stare down his ghost and come out on the other side of that, right? And even impart some truths to Rowan about being a father and what a terrible father he has been. What I did not like, not just in that scene, but in other parts of the episode as well, was this insinuation by these various men that Olivia is somehow their responsibility to protect her from being with Fitz, which is somehow like the worst world. Did it, said it, what's his face? Franklin Russell, said it to Jake. And of course, that was Jake's job for such a long time. And it's like, this woman is not your fucking responsibility. Let her do what she needs to do. If you guys didn't stop intervening in her life so much, she wouldn't have gone through half the heartache and half the problems that she's gone through the last couple of seasons. So let her do her, and she will come around to, the decisions that she needs to make.
So Rowan seemed kind of surprised when he figured out who Huck was working for. And he did seem to realize that all hope wasn't lost with Liv, despite Huck saying, "You're no one's father and I'm not your son." What do you all think that he was feeling in that moment when he found out that the reason he was tied to that chair was Olivia for safety?
I think he realized that, it's not all is not lost. She doesn't want him dead as he had once believed.
And with Lazarus,
but I tell you,
go ahead.
I was just going to say that for me was one of the great scenes of last night, was just Huck taking that moment to just basically he sliced him open. He cut him open. Yep. As if he were if he were trying to extract something from him. It was like I think Huck found a new way to torture last night. And it was incredible, because it was like he didn't have to pull out a single weapon. He didn't have to, he didn't have to do anything. He just used his words. And I think that's probably the first time we saw him do that, and just totally feel empowered to just almost pretty much just decimate Rowan without actually even touching him.
Did he say that Huck's form of torture was eating people? Did he say that?
I believe.
No, it was peeling.
Yeah, peeling. Yeah.
Have y'all
remember Huck said back in season 1,
yeah.
105?
Yeah.
I will
peel you like a grape.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, what?
That's
right. And that's essentially what he did to Rowan without actually using a single knife or anything.
Yep. But can I just
layers on him?
Can I just say that Huck was able to reach that soft point because Rowan, we keep calling him Rowan, but Rowan doesn't have Rowan anymore. Rowan doesn't have he doesn't have his empire anymore. He is Eli, right? So he is vulnerable, which is what Olivia stripped him down to at the end of the last season. And because he's no longer Rowan, which, I was on about last season about how she has to kill Rowan so that she can live, what's left is Eli. And that's the person that she needs to deal with, because so much of her life, Eli has been masquerading as Rowan has been masquerading as Eli in Olivia's life. And he doesn't have that anymore, right? Lazarus 1 is dead. B613 is dead. So who the fuck is this man, right? And who can you guys be together, as some kind of a family.
Now, this is great. Now, this is a perfect lead into Lazarus, the sons of Papa Pope, Marcus being the head of that crew. And we literally, I think that was last episode, just asked, where the hell is Marcus with his sexy chocolate self? Russell. Oh, shit. Ugh.
Oh.
I actually said Marcus was... Ugh.
What? What? Come on now.
Ugh. I almost threw up a little bit. Sorry, Russell. Oh, yes. Russell. Yes. I actually saw him. Well, Russell did.
Did I see a little dance?
You did. It was a little dance. I had to give him a little bit of body roll on.
Did a body roll.
I did a smooth body roll. Y'all don't know. Look, y'all don't see me off this podcast. Okay. All right. So Marcus being the head of the crew, Jake actually murdering. Murdering him? How do you all feel about Jake actually doing some effectual spy work?
Well, I'll let y'all go. I'll say that.
I don't know.
I mean,
especially if if we ever find out that Russell was really the father of that baby.
Ooh. Now, Langston, why you gotta go there?
Conspiracy.
I will just say this: if they had taken Jake out of this episode, like they took Mellie out of the episode previous to last.
They took her out of 507.
507. If he was out of that, I would have been fine. Nothing has changed. I don't know why Jake's still around. They're like, look, I'm like, it's like a head scratcher. I'm like,
Elisa's dead, He can't prop that storyline up no more, right?
I mean, right? Did we even care that he was married? No.
Right. But what was funny?
I only care because I thought
they totally took Rowan out of the implication altogether by letting us know that it was Russell who actually killed Elise. But the question would be why? If they were working together, because supposedly she was working with the Lazarus group to take him down.
But wasn't she running? She was running.
She was running away with Jake. But I guess there was there's no daughters in the Lazarus situation. So
yeah, in that empire, it's only the sons, right? He said he killed her to get back at Jake for that dumbass reason that you were supposed to take care of.
Okay, somebody got some real crazy noise going on.
Okay. More. But I wanted to say about Jake killing Russell that, I've said this before, Jake and Rowan are a narrative pair and their relevance comes from each other. And I also said that Jake is loyal to Rowan above everyone else. And this is proven in the narrative. Not only that, the reason why he's always been ineffectual at killing Rowan is because he's never really wanted to. He talks all this shit, but this dude always fails when it comes to really cornering this man and killing him because he doesn't want to. He has like a really fucked up kind of father relationship with him. And might I just add, anybody who's thinking Olivia's going to go back to Jake, you're a fool because the writers have made it plainly clear with all this brother, sons, our father talk that basically that would be a gross and incestuous thing. And after their argument in the Oval Office last week, we're not going back there.
Well, Huck and Quinn was incesting. I'm just saying. Olivia making the point to fit that. Olivia making the point to Fitz that what Mellie was doing on the Senate floor had nothing to do with him. And then later on, the parallel of her.
Well, Abby put that in his head.
Well.
No, he just thinks everything is about him.
That's what I'm like.
No. I'm gonna defend Fitz on this because when they were in the Oval Office with Cyrus and with Abby, Abby's the one that said, "Well, it depends, If she does this, she looks like a sad whatever. That's she does this,
but that's her job. Her job is perception, spin, and that's her job in the White House.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is that Fitz didn't come up with that on his own. Like he didn't think that at first. That she's doing this to like get back at me. He didn't.
On a side note, I just want to say that Cyrus's hate on for Mellie was probably one of my favorite, not scenes, but moments. Like that was like I just love it. So like Cyrus is back to being Cyrus this season. Like he don't give a crap. He like letting it be known. This is how I feel. This is what I think. And his hate on for Mellie was like so true to character that it just.
Okay, well, that's let's read some of the comments that are here because we have a ton. And Langston, just click the button and come back in. I don't see, I think that was a while ago. Cassandra says the first time for me was when she started mumbling under her breath. Like, does Liv mumble? No, she most definitely does not. So that was out of character. Then she also says that Mellie was the only one on point this episode. Then she says, I actually gave Mellie props, so I was here for her this episode, and especially that she thanked Liv for helping her out. Sweet Treats Forever checks in. NYC Gal checked in. Yay, I'm glad y'all are here. And so Cassandra says, y'all please stop with this Russell baby daddy possibility mess. There was no way he could have been the father. Tula Rosebud said, what the hell happened to Fitz? Is he having a transitional issue between the divorce and being with Liv? Did the divorce affect him more than he realized? I didn't like what he said about Mellie, not even believing what she said. I think Liv wanted to backhand Fitz secretly. It was nasty what he said. Shane gives a prediction. He says Olivia and Mellie are the only hope for life after Fitz and a Scandal season 8, and that's weak.
8.
I don't know where he's going with his numbers. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I think he's saying. Oh, yeah,
I'm just saying he done skipped all the way,
I know.
Sweet Treats Forever says, and Mellie recognized it was Liv's doing. Shane says, tell a friend, tell them what, that this is the last Scandal podcast. Girl, bye. Shut up, Shane, before I take my foot and kick you in your face with these little videos you doing that are passive aggressive, non on one certain subject topic of Scandal. So thank you very much for that. Shane cut it out. Yes, Moretta J. Please tell him again. And he's going to big me up. Don't play with me. Coffee Light and Sweet says, hey, y'all, finally made it. Changed my work schedule so I could be here tonight. Hey, Jaha. Hey, Katrina. Hey, girl. Hello, girl. We've been missing you all season. I think
hey.
Too. And LD is like, I'm still here.
I mean, it's okay, though. It's okay. No.
You weren't here when she said that. This is like 77 comments down. And then terrible communicator for the communications expert is what Cassandra says. Annie says, I thought the abortion was taking her life back. I think she lost too much of her life to Fitz. NYC Gal says to Shane, season 8, try season 6 first. And I think it would be Susan Ross. We all agree that Liv's a terrible communicator. Do you today says, do you think he will reconcile with Mellie? No.
No. No. I just want to say about the whole
alone, and also to see what it takes, the domestic labor that it requires to kind of have that White House running. I don't mean staff. I mean what Mellie did for him for years, and also what Olivia was doing for a few weeks. Once to do that shit, then he will see the value of that labor.
What were you going to say, Aldia?
I was just going to say about the whole abortion thing. I don't really get why people were so surprised by it. I think I could. No. Oh, okay. Sorry.
I like, wait.
Okay. Sorry.
She said, don't be giving stuff for free.
Hold something back just a little bit. Can't reveal all of it. Give him some a little tease. All right. So Sweet Treats Forever says it was not the right time for her to have a baby. Liv has issues to work on. And we are going through the comments here. Tula Rosebud says Shonda did say that she thought the show would go for 8 seasons. I don't recall seeing that. Y'all keep saying that. That's been circling around the universe.
I actually think
that's what the headline on the story said, but she didn't actually say that. You have to listen to the NPR interview.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I have yet to watch the show again. NYC Gal says, Bright Eyes, which is Cassandra says, singing to Fitz, I bet you think this song is about you. You're so vain. That's all I kept hearing in my head.
Ooh.
Tula Rosebud
Pulled out Carly
I know
Simon.
that was a cut right there.
Actually, it would have been kind of cool if that song had to play like at the end when she was sitting on the couch.
Y'all know they only play Motown on Scandal. The Motown's greatest. I was gonna play some of the music,
but man,
it was all Christmas music.
somebody needs to do that, like do a video with like that song over it.
Oh, like a meme or him talking or something, and then you hearing the song. That'd be cool. Tula Rosebud says, "Is it possible that Rowan did handpick?"
Is it possible that Rowan did what?
That Rowan did handpick Jake for Liv, and Liv chose Fitz instead? Just asking.
Well, obviously that he picked Jake to keep her away from Fitz, and that was like a long time ago. Yeah.
She said that they. Oh, go ahead, Langston.
No, I was just going to go back and address Tula Rose's statement about the 8 seasons thing. What Shonda actually said was she knows when the end is, but she wasn't the one that put the number on it. Whoever wrote that article put the number on it. She said she knows what the end is, just like she knew what the ending for Grey's Anatomy was. But when that point came, she kept going, and that's a possibility with this. She just at this time knows what the ending is. That's it.
Cool. So Tula Rosebud says also they could have killed Elise because she didn't complete her mission. Rowan wasn't dead. Cassandra says, no, you know, Langston, LOL. No way that Russell could have fathered that baby. Now you know. I guess she said now you know. Hey, how are you?
How was that? How do you know that? Because we don't even know how far along she was.
Come on,
y'all conspiracy theories are
relationship with
what's that? That wasn't a whole year.
Yeah, it's been a whole year.
Scandal years.
The only that Liv was holding up at the beginning of the episodes in the black and white shot, it said 2015 on it.
I'm about to okay.
DR King says Jake is doing his job.
So Fitz has a year left. That should give you some ideas.
He has 18 months left.
Technically, like 16, 14 months.
Look, Sweet Trees Forever, you are not going to come for me over Russell, okay? She talking about stop, Jaha, stop. There you go again with that fake hairline painted on hair guy. Marcus is way sexier than. Why would you make that mistake? Because Marcus is losing his hairline. At least Russell has his intact.
What is it you have?
What's wrong with Marcus's hairline?
It's going away.
Girl, come on.
Check in with Marcus in a couple years. I bet you that thing will be by his ears. Thank you very much.
Leave Marcus alone.
Hey, if you're going to take the new Harrison role, you got to get the new Harrison role.
I have one question for you, Jaha.
Yes.
Why is it that every time they're in that position over at OPA, you hate on them? You just don't like them.
I'm not
What's the problem? First it was Columbus, now it's poor little old Marcus.
I wasn't hating on Columbus. I was hating on Harrison. Columbus
on Harris.
There's difference.
Now you hate Marcus. What Marcus do to you? He ain't been there but a couple of weeks. He ain't even been there for 90 days.
Look.
Hey, he got it together now, Jaha. He doing music.
Marcus can't even talk fast enough to keep up with the OPA team. So for y'all,
we give him a catch up.
Look, Russell is sexy. His abs is on fleek. Marcus don't have no on fleek abs. All Marcus has is a hairline.
I mean,
Brian
White is like pretty. Yeah.
But it's.
I was gonna say he's like what they call like ghetto beautiful, like he's known in the hood is what I was trying to get to. Like Brian White is like, cause he's been in so many things. No, what I mean is like Scandal's like the first thing mainstream that he's done, but he's acted for so long.
I know.
And so,
I
like,
saw him on
people
something a little early. I was like, "Hello, sir."
yeah, like
Yes,
he,
you look
like he
nice.
stays working, and he's always looked that good. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just
like,
saying,
you could go back
he
over
knows
his
how to do
career,
all
and
of the
he's
punches with the bar and
Yes.
pull-ups and such not. Hey, Russell
This
can't
here
do all of that.
is his okay. He gone. He bullet to the head. He's dead.
Look, Russell will always be alive in my heart. So y'all go ahead and pull together his funeral program, because y'all will bury Russell in the manner that he deserves. If you gave Harrison's one line behind for an entire 2 seasons of burial, you will bury Russell on these interwebs. Thank you very much. That's all I'm saying. All right.
Oh, your little girl. At this point, cremated. You can keep him on your mantle, but he's dead.
You ain't nothing for that, Langston. I'm gonna just say that right now. All right. So we are wrapping this up. What'd you say?
I said, Cash's picture of him looks abs good, but he's dead.
I'm looking at a picture of him on these interwebs right now with no shirt on, and it looks good. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Focus.
That's all I'm saying. I stay focused. I ain't trying to look at Harrison crackhead behind. I'm staying focused on, well, Harrison wasn't a crackhead. Columbus is. I'm not saying nothing because I don't want to be seen.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Katrina?
I think if you say that's what I heard, then you don't get sued. So I heard
Allegedly,
Columbus like that white powder around his nostrils. That's all I'm saying.
Did you guys discuss the argument between Fitz and Olivia?
We're getting to that in After Dark. I'm laughing at the comments because they are hilarious. Y'all are crazy. Russell is not the worst spy, Shane. You are. I think you are a spy for the enemy because you over here, you always talking crazy. All right, we're about to leave, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us for this last episode of the Scandal Podcast. You all go ahead and tell them a little TT, something that y'all want to say. Get off your hearts because Jesus has blessed you. Go ahead.
I do. Shane said something about Olivia. Solve this problem. How do you make a cookie? I was so annoyed with that woman when she asked her that question.
I can't believe you didn't know what a
snickerdoodle
was. That woman.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Well, she made me want one. She described it very well.
But I know I was like, "What is that?" And then I thought about it, and I was like, "Of course, it's a snickerdoodle. Come on, child."
I love that Olivia thought it was going to be something more. She got
she was like, "Do you?" She was like, "Okay."
She's like, I know you ain't talking about a dang on cookie. Are you serious? That was fun.
I would love to help you. Not.
All right, LD, you got something for the peoples? Give it to them. Give it to them the LD away.
I just want to say thanks, guys. You guys have given me such a different perspective of watching the show and making me think about things differently. I got these 3 wonderful people out of this. So we'll stay in contact. And thanks. I'm going to pass it off to Langston. Oh, other way. Your turn, Langston.
Is this a farewell episode?
Yes.
Langston, where you been?
I don't know.
Farewell.
We got canceled.
You mean I almost this because my Wi-Fi wasn't working? I completely enjoyed this. I have a feeling that we'll be back, but you never know.
I know. I'm gonna talk some people into it.
Yeah, I'm too. We'll figure it out. It's like I think we just need to do some, do some work. We're not. I mean, we're on break. We're gonna be on break, so don't be surprised if we're back. We'll actually have some time.
What kind of false goodbyes? Look,
yeah, it's like maybe we'll see you later.
Maybe.
Over.
Wow. I guess they telling me
it's never over. Like
never.
It's the song that doesn't end. You like, we'll be going on when the show is off air. Like,
wasn't that guy? It ain't. Oh.
Yeah.
It ain't.
I know. I love that song.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do, y'all. We're gonna go back into New Jack once we figure some things out.
Yeah.
Like Janet Jackson said,
Somebody
you don't
said,
know what you got till it's gone. They'll
This
miss us.
AfterBuzz. I can't. You know, I don't even want to know the amount of jizzing on themselves that AfterBuzz is going to be doing after this episode because of the Rowan thing and Olivia being with Fitz and the breakup and yeah, Olivia needs to get back with her dad and that whole shit. Shut up. I believe.
Shane, shut your ass up. I'm just you be getting on my nerves some days. You just look. All right, so awesome, Monica, and y'all look. Me and Shane got a personal relationship, so don't take me. So y'all don't curse at Shane. But he be working on my last nerve.
All over themselves with that.
Awesome. Monica says that we will miss you. Thanks so much for your solid analysis. NYC Gal is coming up with solutions in the comments, talking about y'all should do a monthly podcast. Moretta J says, we're going to miss you guys. We need a forum to get our scandal knowledge. And then the NYC Gal says, you are the alternative to the inept AfterBuzz panel. I didn't even read that out loud. Wait a minute. That's what she said.
She did.
Cassandra is so sad. She said there's no Vermont Langston. She's sad. She wants you to know. Shane says, Katrina, please make this podcast happen. Thanks, management. Then Tula Rose.
Who made you manager, Shane?
Not anybody on this podcast. No one. You take that back to the Scandalista. You take that on Facebook. And Tula Rosebud says, preach, Langston. This man is so positive. Tula Rosebud loves you, Langston. Okay?
She does.
She loves you. Bright Eye says they were actually good this episode. So the other podcast was good. She said they are hit or miss. She said, Jaha, are you and Shane a couple? No, we are not. Not in Also, Monica says, ouch. And Tula Rosebud says, Katrina saves my sanity. Moretta J says, Shane is fake management. And
Tula Rosebud.
And Katrina, go ahead and tell the people what you got to say.
Oh, I don't know that I have anything to really say. I really enjoyed this podcast. I love our camaraderie, the fact that we can agree to disagree, or we can have conversations and discussions and disagreements without hating each other or getting on each other's nerves. And I think that probably comes from the fact that, we're on camera, because I swear to God, I want to murder some people on the internet sometimes. And I never want to murder you guys. So I'm really good at you.
We like not being murdered, Katrina. It's a beautiful thing.
I do appreciate
Even
Say that again.
We talk we hug it out long distance, and it's all good.
Mm-hmm. And it's all good. And our after podcast chats, I'll miss that stuff too. So you guys, I'm glad you came into my life, and this was really, really fun. And if I'll miss it.
Go ahead.
Damn. Moretta said your swear jar is full, Katrina.
Somebody is asking about your lipstick color in the comments, so you address that with her.
Because it's related to the episodes, as are my earrings. It's actually you see, I'm wearing little Christmas gift box earrings. Can you see?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And the lipstick is also related. It's called Box by Ilamasca. And you can purchase it at Sephora in the United States.
Nice.
I thought she was going to say Scandal Red.
Lord. Well, we are going into, I've already said my goodbyes to y'all. I love y'all. Y'all know how I feel. Y'all know I was all emotional on that podcast last episode when I did the audio, because Lord knows I was in there crying. I recorded that thing 4 times just to get it together. And I'm like, you still cry? I still cry. My daughter's like, Mommy, why are you crying again? I'm like, I don't want to leave him. I'm like, but so
nobody, you'll be back.
Oh my gosh, Langston is like, ooh.
I don't know why Langston keeps giving y'all these false promises.
Even if I had to partner with Shane, he's still gonna do it.
Oh Lord,
I
well,
mean,
you partner up with Shane, man, so you can save you're gonna have a silver head when you finish partnering up with Shane. Mustache silver.
Silver hair. It's already silver.
The whole thing, Langston.
Mm.
All right. Y'all, thank y'all so much for being here. We are out. Happy holidays to all of
happy
you.
holidays,
Yes,
guys.
happy holidays, everybody. Have a great Thanksgiving next week.
We'll
I
see
won't
y'all on
be.
February 11th. Well,
Yeah, have a
actually.
great.
Good for. See y'all later. LT,
February.
I'm not gonna let Langston live in my space this way.
I was like, did he just say February 11th? I was like,
yeah, allocating time.
I'm so sad. It's.
I mean, I was
that
going to
time.
suggest that we should do it like 4 times a year. Like if we do like season premiere and then finale and then
Good,
winter finale premiere and then finale, like just 4 times.
Yeah.
That was like what I thought. I was like, maybe just do like limit it to 4.
4 episodes.
We have 3 months to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like do it for the season premiere, then do it for the winter finale, do one after the winter, premiere, and then do one for the season finale. And then it's like it's like an event. People, we can save everything up and like really.
So we're gonna have an 8-hour podcast, is what y'all are saying. Y'all know,
not 8 hours.
This is an hour. This is one episode. Look how it's an hour.
But you could cut it up.
No,
right?
I'm not cutting up shit. I'm just gonna let you know right now, because Jaha is not doing that. No, it's too much work. This is why
you are very busy. That's true.
I was like, what? All right, well, we'll figure it out.
Are we still on air?
Yeah, we're still on air. They're all right there listening to us have this conversation.
Oh, hey,
did you think there was a back door? This is not YouTube. That's why I was like, why are we?
I thought it
I'm like, listen to them having this team meeting on air.
And then they said limited. Somebody was like, how about just 90 minutes? Limited.
All right, so we're going to go, because we'll figure this out in the privacy of our home, which is the backstage of the After Dark. We'll see y'all later. We'll meet y'all there. And I emailed you, Langston. I don't want to hear your shenanigans.
Uh-oh.
Email me what?
The link.
So you emailed me and told me to shut up. Is that what you did?
Jaha.
Yes.
Can you send me a link for the After Dark for G, please?
Okay.
She wants to watch. Okay. Bye.
Bye.